How's it going, guys? I'm going to go ahead and knock out Project 4, Guess My Word. I'm going to go through it kind of like how I'd be doing it in class, where I read through the project rubric and then I kind of just start going at the snap build. Kind of from my perspective, I haven't really looked at it too much besides just like the base information. And I want you guys to see how I think through it, and so you guys can maybe think through it in the same way. I probably won't do the whole project, but I should get through most of it in this video, depending on how this goes. So, in the Project 4 Guess My Word, it's basically Hangman. It's gonna be, we have this gameplay of, we're gonna be guessing. We have this chooser roll and a guesser roll. The computer will choose a word from this long list of words you're given with the project here, and we'll be guessing each of the different words. We have some sprites there needs to be at least 3 sprites. Generally, when I do projects, I try to do it all just kind of in the base code, and then I'll add the sprites in afterwards, just so I don't get too frazzled. But that's because this can really be whatever you guys want, right? The figure being built or assembled, a host sprite that asks the players for guesses, and an assistant sprite that tells the player the status of the secret word. The word status, we obviously need to tell them, we need to update them when we're guessing correctly or incorrectly. Here we have what we'll kind of have it look like with these blanks being unguessed letters yet, and then the letters being guessed so far. We're gonna give them 6 chances. That's just kind of a gameplay rule, and we'll be kind of building up, like their examples like an ice cream cone or a bear, something that has multiple parts. The game ends in one of 2 ways. The players guess the complete secret word, he or she wins. Otherwise, if he's run out of chances and complete the figure ship, then John, the player, loses. Now, what I'm going to probably do is kind of just focus on this first part. I try to break things up into small bits. So we'll say if this player has guessed the complete secret word, he or she wins. So I'm just going to focus solely on that and how can I get to that. I'm not going to worry about the guesses just yet. I'm going to keep it in the back of my mind, but immediately this is what I'm already kind of thinking about. How can I break this into little chunks so this doesn't seem like a huge project, but maybe just a bunch of little projects, right? Oh, if I just have to do this, it's not so daunting. Maybe, you can wake up in the morning, just knock out this one little piece, then go on with your day, and then come back and work on another little piece. And sometimes that helps me when I'm working. I've been trying to work from home as well, so these are little tips that I've been doing. Implementation details. Wordless secret word. You'll be provided with a list of words, like we mentioned. We'll be picking one at random. Documentation. In general, it is nice for you guys learning to do documentation. The main thing I'm concerned with documentation is that you have variables that make sense, right? Like you don't want, word list, like your big word list of words to be called like variable A, right? Because when you're reading, it doesn't make sense. You kind of want it to make it as close to English as possible, like you guys have been kind of doing. So we'll just stick with that, obviously. You guys can comment a little bit more as you go. I'm going to leave that out because it's kind of boring to just watch me comment all over the place. Your program must include, at a minimum, the following snap code elements, at least 2 lists, one of which must be to track guess letters, custom blocks, and custom blocks as appropriate, including arguments and reporters. Lists are absolutely amazing. You guys will learn to love them if you don't yet. They're just super solid. Required checkpoints. Be able to select a secret word, keep track of which letters have been guessed, determine if each letter guessed is in the secret word or not. This is kind of a chunk thing I was talking about earlier. Maybe you can just focus on just checkpoint 1, just knock that out, say, hey, I'll do this, and I can go do something else, come back, look at checkpoint 2. Be able to announce the current status of the word, showing letters that have been guessed, and blank for other letters. And then 3, be able to play a full game of Guess My Word, aka Hangman. Identify correct and incorrect letter, display the figure, and inform the player whether or not they have won or lost. Obviously, we're all familiar with grading scheme rubric. We'll probably be bouncing back and forth between these two. So I'll go ahead and go up here to the snap. I'll hopefully remember that this part down here is blocked up by my face, and we'll kind of get right into it. So the first thing that is probably daunting is how to import this list that we got. If you downloaded it from the link where you got to the actual project rubric, you can go ahead and go up here. There's this thing called import. And if you go to where it is, most likely you put it in downloads if you didn't do anything fancy. And you can actually go here. It's called corn cob lowercase. That's what it was called when I got it. you have this big thing. What it actually is, though, it saved it into one big string, like, or one big, it's not a list yet, it's just one big, technically a word. You can see they're separated by spaces. By noticing that, I know I need to get this into a list so I can pick from it, because right now, if I were to say, item 1 and, of course, a list, if I tried bringing it here, and I clicked on it, error, expecting list, but getting text instead. So we're going to break this up. I know I can do this off the top of my head from a split or something like that. Yep, here we go, a split. I know I can split this word by, a lot of times it would say like split by space or something. I don't see that here, so I'm going to go by word. If we split this by word, I can see it is making a list. That looks awesome. If I say item 1 of this now, it should be, there we go, aardvark. Now I want to actually save this to its own variable. So I will say, I'll make a new variable. We'll call it, let's call it word list. It is a list of words, it makes sense. We'll set word list to what we did here, just to make sure. It looks like it's working. Now we can simplify here, and we see aardvark. So this is aardvark. So now we have our potential word list, our potential guesses, the thing the computer's going to pick between. Now that we got that, we can go ahead and try to get an actual random word here, and we'll say random word or word to guess or something like that. Yeah, we'll do something like that. Word to guess. That's just a little bit more specific. Doing capitals in the front of each is pretty standard. That's how I think most people would have it. You can't actually use, I think you can use spaces here, but you can't use spaces in most actual languages. So it's pretty good custom get used to that. We'll say word to guess. I'm going to look for something that's saying we're going to random letter, add, replace. I'm pretty sure there was a random. So in my head, that's all I'm thinking about, where I can numbers from 1 to here. And if we could pick one, let's see if there's like an operator. Probably, yep, pick random. Here we go. Random of 1 to, we'll go length. Here we go. Length of word list. We'll see if this gives us something big. That looks kind of correct. Pick a random. You can see it is being random right now. And now I know I want to pick a random item of word list. Hulk. Birthdays. You got some long words. Coldest. So it looks like we are getting random words like this. At any point, if I am going too fast, you can go ahead and pause this. You can write down this kind of stuff. I'm going to try to keep up the pace from here on out, just so I don't bore you guys to death any more than I already have to. So now we kind of have the random item here. Next on the agenda would be, I guess, blanking this out, right? We need to go ahead and I'm going to minimize these because we really don't need it. Word to guess would probably be, oh yeah, we're just getting the item. We actually need to set word to guess as well. So we will set word to guess is one of these items. Here we go, linger. Conjunctions. So now I have the word to guess, but I need to make it in a displayable way that shows everything as blanks. So in order to do that, we are going to make probably a guess list, if I had to say that. That's probably a good way of putting it. And this is something we're gonna constantly update as we go, as they guess, and just something to display here. So I'm gonna make another thing. Guessed letters. So that's going to be for every letter we guess. We want to keep track of whether it's right or wrong. And then we'll say, we already have word to guess. So we'll say word, hidden word to guess. And that might seem a little lengthy and stuff, but at least I know what it's going to be. So what we want to do with hidden word to guess is go ahead and fill this up with each of the individual letters, but as blanks. So for each item in, we probably go each letter in the list. We actually don't need to go. So word to guess is just a single text here. So we will probably don't actually need to use these list ones here. We want to split up word to guess by letter. And we want to put it into hidden word to guess. As a blank, what we're actually going to do, we actually just need to get the length, and we're going to do that many blanks into hidden word to guess. So for each, I don't want that. I want for each item. I think there's another for each list somewhere else, right? In control, I think. Yeah, we can do something like this. For I equals 1 to word guesses dot length. I want to go look for a length somewhere around here. Length of word guesses, which I can test real quick, is 12. That looks about correct. And then for each of those, I want to add to hidden word to guess a underline. So we'll go ahead and there could definitely be probably way easier ways of doing this if you guys are aware of them. Everything's open as long as it works, right? We'll totally understand. So this is just how I'm coming up with it off the top of my head, trying to think about how to solve this particular solution. Now I'm going to add to hidden words to guess a blank. Add a blank, underline, space, hidden word to guess. And switching a list but getting a number. Probably here. Switching a list but getting a number. Hidden word to guess. We need to probably set this to a list, so it's aware that it's a list. We're kind of setting the types here. So now hidden word to guess. I don't know why they keep going down there. Looks like this. We could probably even end up making this a string. It's probably gonna look better as a string, and we can just kind of update it as we go. So we can do join. We can do hidden word to guess. We'll join hidden word to guess with a blank hidden word to guess with a underline space. This might look a little bit better. I think we have to set hidden word to guess to itself, and it should tack them all on. Here we go. This is probably going to keep on adding and adding because we're not resetting it. We'll set hidden word to guess to blank. And now here we go. And now every time we do it, we see this is updating. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, outlaw. And now we have our hidden letter. Once again, there's probably 1,000,001 ways to do this. This is one way I'm liking to do it. Guess letter. We'll take this off for now. Word to guess. Obviously, we'll never show this. This is probably where we're going to show it to the users, or we can display it in a fancy way. As long as we're going to get the base concept down first, and then we can always fancy it up afterward. So now we have our hidden word to guess. We have the word to guess. Now we can start thinking about how to actually guess these letters. So this is kind of all on the, I think they called it the controller or the chooser. So that's kind of the computer's jobs right there. We just had them choose. And now we're going to start doing some of the human player stuff. Once again, these are kind of little chunks I'm thinking about in my head. I've chunked that out. I've done this part right here. Now that that's done, I can start working on here. So now I'm going to guess a letter, right? That's easy enough as is. What we're going to do is we are going to set... Don't need this right now. I'm going to get rid of all these just to clear my head. We're going to set word to guesses, or we're going to prompt them first, right? We can ask. Sorry, 1 second. We're going to set guess a letter. Be excited about it. To set guess letter, because we said it before. We're going to set guess letter to. We're going to set that to an empty list, and we're just going to throw these letters into this list. So before we do anything, we set a guess letter to empty list, and then we are going to add answer to our list of guess letter, because now that it's guessed. Now we're going to put this up here. We're going to kind of see this in action. Guess a letter. We'll say A. Here, it looks like it did not want to add it. S. That's okay. It added it that time. I don't know what that was about. So we have A. We are setting it to an empty list. I think we can. There we go. Now it's going to be an empty list. A. And obviously there's a lot of ways you could do this. This is just off the top of my head. So we add answer to guess letter. Now that we have a guess letter, we need to actually check it according to the word to guess. So once we add this to guess letters, now we will go ahead and change. We're going to see if that contains this word. So we're going to look for something that says contains, or it's along the letters, has. Don't think it'd be in here. Contains. Here we go. Now we're going to see if word to guess contains. We can probably also still use answer. They're expecting a list but getting text. Word to guess. Oh, it wants this in a list if it wants to do contains. So I'm wondering if we can go to operators and see if we can definitely go here. We can do this a different way. So there's definitely a way you can go and make word to list an actual word to guess an actual list. I think it's probably, we're going to change it to that because I think it's one of your guys' requirements. A lot of times, how I think about a string is really just a list of letters. That's really at its core what it is. So what we could do here is we can do a for each loop, go through the string, go through each letter. We can put I here, and then we can go through the word. To make it probably a little bit less complicated for you guys, we're going to go back and make word to guess a list of letters. So here of word list, we've set word to guess. And then we will do, we got our for loop, word to guess list. Or actually, no, we'll just set it differently. For I and that do for I in here. Do word to guess list. Not typing. Word to guess list. And we will set this so it knows word to guess list. We can always come back and shrink this down if need be later. And we will set it to an empty list. It knows it's a list. Then we will add 2 word to guess lists. We will do length of, we're going to do from I to length of word to guess. Go from I to length of word to guess. So what we're doing is we're going through each of these strings. So we're going to make a list so we can just deal with the list and not have to worry about all this other stuff. Kind of like what we did here. We can actually probably go back and also mess with this. I know we're going in loops now a little bit, but it's all good. It's all learning experience, right? So now that we've gone through here, we're going to add the spot of I operators. We're kind of going to do here. We will actually just make this a little bit easier. Letter I of word to guess. Now if we run all this, expecting list but getting text. Guess list, do list, word to guess. We'll break this up into pieces. Expecting list but getting text, so word to guess is a text. It doesn't like us going through. Letter I of word. Oh, I just got these backwards. That's going to be base debugging that you guys will probably do a million times. It's important to not get frustrated with it and just try to work through it like that. You can kind of take it part by part, one by one. So now we're here getting, we will get word list. And we'll see passes. It's doing exactly like this. Word to guess list. And now we can honestly even change this to make this a little bit easier. And to get more familiar with lists, I really like these for each loops. So go through for each item in the list. It goes through and adds it. So for each item in our word to guess list, we can add hidden. Oh, this is, okay, it's the same idea. Because we're making this a string still. Probably better off a list, but it is nicer to view as a string, right? Join. It's actually the same idea. We didn't reset it to 0 either. Fun. Yep, so same idea. This can be done in one of those two ways. Either way is correct. Now back on to here. Easy to get sidetracked. So now we can add word to guess. If word to guess list contains this, false, it does not contain A. And we'll see clinch does not contain A. So that's awesome. Making sure that's right. Guess. So now we want to update this so we can have guest letters. All the guest letters will be here. We're going to make sure at some point they can't duplicate, I'm sure. And then we will kind of reorganize. So we don't need to actually see word to guess list anymore because we know word to guess there. This is just a list version of word to guess. So we will go ahead and hide that word to guess list. Okay, now we're back to here. So now if we do guess correctly, if this ends up being true, so that's kind of what we'll do here. If word to guess list contains answer, we want to update hidden word to guess. So this is what we'll go through here. And then else we will count against them. We'll try to do this. So we'll make a variable real quick for that, just so we have all of our variables in place. And this will just be wrong guess count. And this would just be an int, an integer number, just 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, and we'll make sure we set this before we start, just so we don't get word to guess count to 0. Perfect. So So if word to guess list contains answer, we don't mess with this. Else, we go ahead and increment this, change it by 1. Oh, no. Word to guess count by 1. Also, if we know we also want to do, after all that, if word to guess count is, I think they said above 6, we'll say the game's over. So we'll just take that out while we're here too. So we'll say if, I think the operators were here. Nope. If word to guess, wrong guess count, is greater than, I think it's supposed to be 6. So we'll do greater than 5, which would be 6. For the time being, we know we're supposed to do a bunch of sprites and stuff, but we'll just print out something that is like game over for 2 seconds. Game over. All right, so now we got these other things dealt with. Let's go back to here. If it does contain it, we want to update hidden word to guess. So what we want to do is go through hidden word to guess. What I'm thinking about is actually going through here and then just updating with the correct words. Instead, so we're just going to keep on rewriting this, and we're just keep on checking this. I kind of like this, and hopefully you'll see why I want to do it this way. And if not, hopefully you just at least follow along, and we'll try to get through this. So I can do for each item in, we'll do word to guess list, or no, for each item in, word to guess list. Because that's what we did here. We would like to check if the item in word to guess list is equal to, I'm going to check anywhere in guess letter and update this here. So we will do an if statement, because we're going to go through every letter here. And if any of them equals, item equals one of these, if item contains, we'll do the contains one, just to make this a little bit easier. Here we go. If the word to guess list, or the guess letter list, probably should name that guess letter list, but we'll go ahead and guess letters at least and see if we can change that. Edit name. Guessed letters list. This is going to be all the guest letters regardless. We're going to be here. So if guest letters list, no, not actually update any, assuming I'll get all kinds of lists, guest letter. All right, so if guest letter list contains an item here, I want to take this exact same thing, and I want to replace join hidden guest letter with the actual letter here, item. What's this? And if not, I want to do exactly what we did before. And so what I'm doing is I'm redrawing this, and we'll see if this works out. We'll say guest letter A. It doesn't contain it, of course, so we'll do it again. We'll say guest letter I. We got 2 I's here. We kind of do it. It looks like it duplicated it. We didn't reset hidden word to blank, and that will probably do it. With every time we guess a letter, we set hidden word. Actually, we'll do it kind of here. Do word to guess. Do blank. Or to nothing, really. I don't think it needs. Guess letter, sort clench, I. Alrighty, and we're back. And so it was just removing this space here. And we got it to work. I don't know why the space is actually duplicating it. I feel like it should have just given a space, but we'll move past that. So now when you guys, you can clearly see CLI-NCH, CLI-NCH. So we are guessing it. Now if we put this, what we want them to do is be able to guess multiple letters, right? So here we go. I'm going to get rid of all this other stuff. I know this is looking a little complicated at this point. Hopefully you're able to either back it up, slow it down, do whatever if you need to, and take it apart. There's a lot more easier ways to probably do this, but I really like showing the full flexibility of a list and being able to have a lot of control over it. And I'm rewriting this hidden word every single time. I'm resetting it to 0. I'm rewriting it based off what's in this letter guess. So we will go ahead and set this on a forever loop. For now, we'll do forever. What we'll probably actually do is repeat until, and go ahead and take this thing. Repeat until word guess count is greater than 5. When it's greater than it, so we don't have a win condition yet, game is over. So guess letter A. It should show up here in guess letters list. Oh, because we're resetting these every time, of course. We want to do these above. Here's A. And what we're not doing is setting this. We also need to set this here. Duplicate, and we'll reset before the game starts. So that way, if we play multiple games, it'll always restart. Set hidden word. Okay, well, one more try. Boom. What we actually wanted was to make sure this here. So we actually don't need this here because this will always run. If we were doing this correctly, this would run first. It has it there. Then we run this. Guess letter. Stagecoaches, of course, which is a nice long word. A. That is very strange. And now we'll get to debug again. So, wrong guess here. Guess a letter. Contains the letter. It did contain A. Went to 2. So we set hidden word back to nothing because we want to reset this to rebuild it ourselves. If it contains the item, we're setting it to here. If not, we're doing a blank. So to do blank, it came to the 3rd letter is clearly where it's messing up, and it hit item, but it didn't print it out, and then it stopped. Oh, because we've done wrong word guesses probably too many times. I bet if we show wrong word guesses, wrong guess count is hidden down here. Okay, that's so it's 0. Because we are guessing a letter again. Okay. Oh, because I reset it in the loop. Okay, so that was weird. Let's go ahead and try this one more time. See if we guess A. Here we go. Stagecoaches. If I do C, if I say something that's not in there, this goes up. Nothing really changed there. E, S, G. Trying to go through it. I'll just put some more random stuff in there. At this point, yep, I did too many and it said game over. I got very close to stagecoaches. So we can see this is working. What we're going to do is, now we need to see if we actually do finish this work. Because the way we're doing it, we're just kind of rewriting it. And the only way we would truly know is if there's no spaces here. So what we need to do is check if it does answer that. Kind of here probably at the end, repeat until, because we're going to go ahead and we do want to finish it up. Is we will say if we will say, we can probably just check and see if this is equal to our word to guess list, or if hidden word to guess is equal to word to guess. At that point, we would know it's true, right? And we can kind of see our hidden word to guess and our word to guess would be equal. So we go to operators here, and there's probably a better way. I don't know if it will do exact. For strings, a lot of languages will be not let you compare two strings equally like that, but we would try it. So if our word to guess is equal to our hidden word to guess, at that point, you've won. So to do... and we will figure out something to break this. We can probably even do an or here as well, because I'm thinking about this now. If this or duplicate here, and then we'll do if this. If the reason it broke out was because of this, we have if else do if it's because of this, game over. We'll get the correct name here. The chooser one. Chooser one. And if not, we will say guesser one. Guesser one. Alrighty, we'll play the game one more time. Let the chooser go. And honestly, we can probably put this all into one at this time. I do like it broken up, and I'll probably have something call each of them, like a separate method that calls each of them, because this looks like a big mess, right? I'll just do it just for running it, and I'll re-separate it afterwards. What is this word? Embobane. I'm going to go for, try to pull for a shorter word, just to, first we'll get all. Alright, we'll accept our fate here, and I'm just going to go straight through. I'm a wizard. I know exactly what words are. Best Hangman player there's ever been. What did I do wrong? Oh, I did 2 letters. It's clearly not. Game over. Guesser one. And it was correct. And then now if we do it one more time, I'll guess all wrong letters. We don't have any checks, so theoretically I could just guess the same letter if I was really bad. Game over. Chooser one. So now we have a distinction. We're realizing who wins. I'm going to re-separate these just so, because it looks really complicated, right, when you throw it all in there. If you can separate it up a little bit, and we can end up normally doing, we'll do like a when I receive chooser, and then when I receive guesser. And this is kind of naming my methods here. And then when I like space key a lot, broadcast guesser, or we're gonna actually and wait until it's done. I'm pretty sure I've run into this before. And once again, there's probably other ways of doing this if you guys are familiar with it. We're actually gonna do chooser first, and we'll see what happens by spacebar. Looks like it waits way too long. Or we're not asking. That would be what. We will stop here. We will broadcast chooser. Then broadcast guesser. Guess the letter. The word's mines. It was set up, so it looks like it's all working out. I X M in. Oh, because Myers kind of far away from me. So here, game over. Gesser did win. Gusser. I just realized I didn't even spell it correctly. For now, I think we're going to end the video here. We got kind of this first step up. I would love feedback, comments, things specifically if you want me to re-go over any of this stuff. I did kind of do it a little bit extra by making this whole separate hidden word to guess thing, because I was just trying to make it a little bit more readable. Obviously, you can do this a little bit shorter. I would say this chunk right here could be done a little shorter if you really wanted to. But this really is just the bulk of all of it anyways, right? If you take away all this stuff, this kind of is just setting it up. This is just kind of ending it. This really is the only logic you're really dealing with here. And resetting up this, honestly, if you take this out, you could probably do it all without any of this. This is just, I like the look of it a little bit. So yeah, let me know what you're thinking. If you're having troubles with other parts of 4-point, any of the 4-point projects, and hopefully I'll get another video kind of completing the rest of this moving forward. Have a good one, guys.